Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Zamboanga, Philippines, August 20th, 2025. The city stirs awake, unaware of the silent drama about to unfold deep within its surrounding jungles. Deep in the Philippine jungle, silence reigns, a silence that unsettles the visiting U.S. Marines, who are more accustomed to the roar of engines than the whisper of leaves. Here for Balikatan, the annual joint military exercise, the Marines are about to learn lessons no manual can teach, lessons written in sweat, mud, and the unspoken language of survival. Their instructors? The Philippine Scout Rangers, masters of jungle warfare, legends forged by decades of conflict and countless battles fought in the shadows. These men don't just survive the jungle, they become part of it, moving with a grace and stealth that seems almost supernatural to outsiders. For the tech-heavy Marines, the jungle itself is the enemy. Heat, insects, and disorienting terrain test their endurance and resolve at every step. The Scout Rangers glide through the undergrowth, leaving almost no trace, their movements honed by years of experience and instinct. News usually highlights the hardware, but the real story is in the mud and rain, where human connection and respect are forged, and where camaraderie grows stronger with every shared hardship. The Marines will learn that the most powerful weapon isn't always in your hands, but in your mind and heart. Courage, adaptability, and trust become their greatest assets. This is more than a training exercise, it's a journey into the heart of what it means to be a warrior, where every step forward is a lesson in humility and strength. The Marines will be pushed to their limits, stripped of technology, forced to trust their instincts and each other as they navigate the unknown. They'll learn to find water in bamboo, read the forest's subtle signs, and adapt to a world where nature is both adversary and teacher. And they'll discover the discipline to stay silent for hours, blending into the landscape, becoming invisible to all but the most trained eyes. Their teachers? Quiet men who call this unforgiving jungle home, whose wisdom is passed down not in words, but in actions and silent example. Here, true alliances are forged, not in treaties but in shared hardship, mutual respect, and the unbreakable bonds formed in the heart of the jungle. The U.S. Marines arrived in the Philippines confident, elite, and ready for anything. Trained for the harshest conditions, they believed their discipline and advanced equipment would see them through any challenge the jungle could offer. Until the jungle humbled them. The thick, humid air and relentless mud quickly turned every step into a struggle, sapping their strength and testing their resolve. The Scout Rangers greeted them with quiet intensity, carrying less gear but far more experience. Their eyes told stories of countless days spent surviving in this unforgiving environment. The first lesson began immediately, with no time wasted. The jungle itself was the classroom, and every moment was a test. The Rangers moved silently, blending with the jungle, their footsteps barely disturbing the undergrowth. In contrast, the Marines crashed through, weighed down by their equipment and unfamiliar with the terrain. Sweat poured, boots sank deep into the mud, and high-tech gear faltered in the relentless tropical heat. Radios crackled and failed, and even the simplest tasks became exhausting. The Rangers, unfazed, pointed out animal tracks, subtle sounds, and hidden dangers the Marines missed. Venomous snakes, camouflaged insects, and signs of recent rain that could mean flash floods. It was a masterclass in awareness, taught mostly without words. The Rangers communicated through silent signals, teaching the Marines to listen, watch, and feel the jungle around them. That night, as Marines set up high-tech tents and prepared MREs, the Rangers built sturdy shelters from branches and cooked rice and fish they'd gathered from the forest, showing true self-reliance. They shared their meal, and in the darkness, a new understanding dawned. Around the fire, stories and laughter bridged the gap between cultures. The Marines realized they weren't just allies, they were students, eager to absorb every lesson the Rangers offered. The Scout Rangers, with their quiet resourcefulness and deep respect for the jungle, were the true teachers here. The jungle was unforgiving, but the bond forming between these men was real. Shared hardship forged trust and camaraderie. The Marines began to see the jungle not as an enemy, but as a teacher, one that demanded respect and humility. Every step, every lesson brought them closer to respect, not just for each other but for the land itself. In the heart of the jungle, humility replaced bravado. The Marines learned that survival meant adaptation, not domination. And the learning had only just begun. The jungle had many more lessons to teach, and the Marines were finally ready to listen. The Marines arrived with cutting-edge tech, GPS, night vision, encrypted radios, and advanced rifles. Their doctrine relied on technological superiority and precision. The Scout Rangers, in contrast, carried simpler gear, old rifles, compasses, and razor-sharp bolo knives. Their most important tools? Instinct, experience, and an intimate knowledge of the land. In a training mission to locate a simulated enemy camp, the difference was clear. The Marines followed their screens and digital maps, moving efficiently but predictably. The Rangers paused, listened, read tracks, and followed subtle signs. They found the objective 2 hours before the Marines, bypassing traps the Americans walked into. The lesson was powerful. Technology can create dangerous dependency. In the jungle, awareness and instinct often trump gadgets. The Rangers proved that high instinct can outmatch high tech. The Marines learned to look up from their screens and trust their senses. The jungle rewards those who pay attention, and the best warriors know when to rely on their gut. The Marines' respect for the Scout Rangers grew with every challenge they faced together, each day in the unforgiving jungle deepening their admiration. "These guys are a different breed," a gunnery sergeant admitted, awed by their comfort in the jungle. He watched as the Rangers moved with a quiet confidence, almost as if the dense undergrowth was their second home. "We trained for this. They were born in it." The Marines sweated and stumbled, while the Rangers seemed to glide through the wild, their movements instinctive and sure. The Rangers' sixth sense for the environment was unmatched. They could sense subtle changes in the air, spot hidden dangers, and move almost silently, blending into the shadows. One Marine recalled running out of water, until a Ranger sliced open bamboo and saved him with fresh water. It was a simple act, but it felt like magic in the heat and humidity. Back home, I'd call for a CASVAC. Here, they just solved the problem. The Rangers' resourcefulness was a lesson in survival, showing the Marines how to adapt and improvise. The Rangers' toughness was legendary, enduring cuts, stings, exhaustion, and hunger without complaint. Their resilience inspired the Marines to push past their own limits. Their motto, "We strike swiftly," wasn't just words, it was a way of life. Every movement was precise, every action coordinated, as if they shared a single mind. Adaptable, disciplined, and unflappable, they found solutions when plans went wrong. No setback was too great, they simply adjusted and pressed on. The Marines saw a rare mental fortitude and cultural resilience. Around the campfire, stories were shared, and the Marines realized the depth of the Rangers' commitment. The Rangers fought for each other, their families, and their country with passion. Their sense of duty was deeply personal, rooted in love and loyalty. "We thought we'd be teaching them," a Marine captain said, "but we're the ones learning." The Marines found themselves humbled, eager to absorb every lesson. The true lesson wasn't about gear, it was about the human spirit. It was about grit, teamwork, and the will to keep going, no matter how tough things got. Training with the Rangers redefined what it meant to be a warrior. It was about heart, courage, and the bonds forged in adversity. The Marines left the jungle changed, carrying new respect, not just for the Rangers, but for the spirit of resilience they witnessed. And the bond between these soldiers grew stronger with every shared hardship, every lesson learned, and every moment of mutual respect. The Scout Rangers' legacy began in 1950, forged to fight guerrillas in the Philippine jungles. From the start, they were unconventional, masters of reconnaissance, raids, and survival. Their training is among the world's toughest, pushing candidates to the brink in real combat zones. Only the best earn the Scout Ranger tab, joining a brotherhood bound by hardship and excellence. Their motto, "We strike swiftly," defines their doctrine: strike hard, disappear, and outthink the enemy. The Black Panther is their symbol, silent, patient, deadly. For over 70 years, they've led the fight in every major Philippine conflict, from Mindanao to Marawi. Their skills are tested in the harshest realities of war. When U.S. Marines train with them, they're not just meeting soldiers, they're meeting living legends. This shared legacy of sacrifice forges an immediate, powerful bond. The Scout Rangers' genius lies in improvisation, doing more with less. Decades of limited resources turn the jungle into their toolbox. They build shelters from banana leaves, craft traps from vines, and know every useful plant. In training, their adaptability stuns the Marines. When faced with a river, the Rangers build a bridge from a fallen log, faster and quieter than any rope system. Their gear is customized, repaired, and cherished, because replacements are rare. Resourcefulness isn't a weakness, it's a profound strength. It makes them resilient, self-reliant, and always ready. In any situation, a Scout Ranger is never truly unarmed or unprepared. The Scout Ranger's adaptability extends far beyond the jungle. In the 2017 Battle of Marawi, their skills were tested in brutal urban warfare. They tracked enemies through rubble, waited hours for the perfect shot, and improvised tools to breach walls and disarm bombs. Their jungle-honed patience and stealth translated to the city's chaos. The fighting was relentless, house to house, room to room. Yet the Rangers never broke, relying on trust and cohesion forged in training. U.S. observers admired their courage and effectiveness in the deadliest environments. The Rangers' true strength is their mindset. Analyze, adapt, and strike swiftly. Whether in jungle or city, their response is the same. Solve the problem, accomplish the mission. This universal competence commands deep respect. The Scout Rangers' strength is rooted in culture and heart. Their service is a connection to land, family, and heritage, not just a job. Protecting the Philippines means defending home, village, and ancestral soil. Family, or is everything. Their unit is a brotherhood, bound by sacred loyalty. In battle, they fight for each other as much as for the mission. Honor, or drives them. Courage, professionalism, and enduring hardship without complaint. To bring shame is unthinkable. Honor is their compass. U.S. Marines witness a different kind of strength, one woven into identity. The respect they feel goes beyond skills. It's for the spirit that shapes those skills. The Scout Rangers' warrior spirit is fueled by love, land, and honor. The respect between American and Filipino soldiers was forged in World War II. Together they endured Bataan, Corregidor, and the brutal Death March, creating a brotherhood born of shared suffering. Guerrilla fighters, the predecessors of the Scout Rangers, fought alongside Americans, surviving on ingenuity and local support. Their efforts were crucial to the Philippines' liberation and cemented a legacy of cooperation. Today, joint exercises like Balikatan, meaning shoulder to shoulder, continue this tradition. The training builds tactics, but more importantly, it renews a personal bond. In a dangerous world, both sides know they have a reliable friend. Every time they train together, the legacy of brotherhood is strengthened under the tropical sun.